Hello guys, welcome to Math Vantage. So in this lesson we are going to talk about or continue doing finding the area under the curve, finding the area under the curve using a midpoint. Remember in the previous video we talked about finding the area under the curve using the left hand points and also the right hand points. So kindly go to check those videos before you can watch this one so that you cannot get lost. So example 1, find the area under the curve using midpoint. Using the midpoint, given the following information: y is equals to x squared plus 1, the bonds 0 and 2, and then the number of strips or the number of rectangles is 4. Right. So now solution. So like I said guys, if you didn't see the first video, go to check it out so that you can not get lost in the steps that we are going to do, because I'm not going to explain them in details because I did in the first video explain them in details. So the first thing, what do? We know that we are going to write down the formula of finding the area under the curve using the midpoint. The formula doesn't change, therefore it's n here. Therefore delta x multiplied by f of xi. This is the formula that we write whenever we are asked to find the area under the curve using the midpoint, the right hand points, or the left hand points, right? So the second step, what do? We know that we have to calculate the width or the delta x, right? The formula of calculating the width, it's b minus a all over n. What is b? We know that b is equals to 2 minus 0 all over 4, which is going to give us 0.5. If you're lost guys, go to check the first video. I have explained everything in the first video. Therefore, after finding the width, what do? We're going to draw the timeline or the number line, right? Starting from what? Starting with the first point, which is, remember, 0 and 2 are the points, which is 0, which is a and b, right? So starting from a to 2. What is the first point? It's 0. Therefore, after writing 0, we are going to add 0.5 until we get to 2, which is the last point. So 0 plus 0.5 is going to give us 0.5. Then 0.5 plus 0.5 is going to give us 1. Then 1 plus 0.5 is going to give us 1.5. And then 1.5 plus 0.5 is going to give us 2. Therefore, we end here because the last point is what? It's 2. Right? Therefore, after writing it down like this, what do? Now we are going to check. Now we are going to check. What do we call? Now we are going to choose the values, right? How do we choose the values? Remember, in the left hand points, we're choosing the values from left going to the right, and then we're leaving the last value. And then for the right hand points, we're choosing from the right going to the left, and we leave the last value. So now what do we do with the midpoint? In the midpoint, that's where we are going to choose the values between 0 and 0.5, 0.5 and 1, 1 and 1.5, 1.5 and 2, meaning we have to find these values here. These are the values that we are going to use finding what do we call? This is finding the midpoint, right? So what do? The first thing that you need to do, you check what is your width. Your width on the delta x is 0.5, therefore you're going to say 0.5 divided by 2. If you say 0.5 divided by 2, you're going to get 0.25, right? So meaning the value that we have here is 0.25. This is the first value that we have here. Okay, or let me do it here so that we can have space and see what I'm talking about. It's 0, then 0.5, oh sorry, and then 1, then 1.5. Let me use different color. I prefer to use red so that you can see. Okay, before, okay, it's supposed to be 2 here. Let me just write it with the red one. So now, like I said, we have to find the values of here and here and here and here, because these are the midpoint values. So like I said, the first thing that you have to do, you take your width and then you divide it by 2. After getting 0.25, it means here it's going to be 0.25, right? Therefore, if you say 0.25 plus 0.25, you're going to get 0.5, which you're going to get this value here, right? Then after, you're going to say 0.5 plus 0.25, so meaning we'll be adding by 0.25. We are no longer adding by 0.5, so we add by 0.25, which is going to give us 0.75, right? Therefore 0.75 plus 0.25 is going to give us 1. We already have 8, right? And then after we do what? We do this one whereby we're going to get 1.25. Therefore after we get 1.5, and then we're going to get 1.75. Then when we say 1.75 plus 0.25, we're going to get 2. So meaning the values that we are going to use, it's 0.25, 0.75, 1.25, and 1.75. These are the values that we are going to use, right? So remember, after writing, you can label them. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, after writing these values like this, what do? We are going to write down our formula, which delta x is equals to f of x1 plus f of x2 plus f of x3 plus f of x4. I'm no longer going to explain how do we do this, because I've explained it in the first video and the second video. So we know what is delta x. Delta x is equals to 0.5. Don't get confused. Don't write 0.25. Remember, our delta x is 0.5, not 0.25. So don't get confused, because we divided our delta x with 2 to get the smaller width so that we can be able to get our midpoint values, right? So f of x1 is going to be 0.25 plus f of 0.75 plus f of 1.25 plus f of 1.75. Right. So therefore, after we know that, what we are going to do, we are going to take 0.25 and then substitute it in the given equation, which is y is equals to x squared plus 1. If you check the first video and the second video, you know what we are going to do. So I'm not going to do that step here. Therefore, after doing that, for f of 0.25, we are going to get 1.0625. The second value is going to be 1.5625. The third value is going to be 2.5625. The last value which we're going to get is going to be 4.0625. Right, then now we're going to add everything, then the value is going to give us 4.625. Because it's the area and then we're not given the SI units, we can say units squared. Therefore that's it for the lesson about finding the area under the curve using the midpoint. So if you find this video useful, kindly like and subscribe. Thank you guys.